Hello, good morning, students. Let us continue with health economics. So, under health economics, today we are going to study about cost analysis. From the word itself, you all have heard about what do you mean by analysis? What do you mean by analyzing? So, when we observe something, I hope you all know the difference between observation and analyzing. When you observe, you are just casually looking into it and just taking up the meaning. But when you analyze, you are looking the things in depth. You are going to take out what are the possibilities. You are going to rethink about the things. You are going in depth or screwing down into the depth, and you are going to see what is the periphery areas, what is the central areas, where the fault has came, how the things can be managed later. All these things we are looking. That is meant by analyzing. So, of course, what do you mean by cost analysis? Yes, we are looking into the expenditures. Cost analysis is a resource tool for financial management in a hospital or in any department. So it is a resource tool which is used for financial management, how we can manage the cost. It is economic evaluation technique that involves the systematic collection, categorization and analysis of program and intervention cost and cost of illness. So we are going to see that what are the health programs happened, or what is the cost we have invested, or what was the cost of illness, or what was the cost of care. Everything we are look into, and we are going to analyze. So it is an economic evaluation technique. So it involves really many things. It really involves collection. So in order to do any analysis, first we have to get the data collected. So systematic data collection and categorization. We want to categorize it. How much amount we have spent for the patient care, how much amount we have spent for getting new techniques in the hospital or new equipments in the hospital, how much we spent for the surgeries, what was the real cost of surgery, what was the payment for doctors, how much we spent for the payment of nurses, for the four class workers, neatness, waste management, water supply, electricity bill, everything. They have to categorize the everythings. So they have to collect everything, collect all the things where the cost is spent, and categorize it and analyze what was their program and how the cost has been spent. That is meant by cost analysis. So why it is needed? What is the objective? Why we need a cost analysis? The main objectives are to assess the efficiency and effectiveness of function and their implementation. So in order to check whether a hospital or any of the department, because cost analysis, you don't think that it only happens in health sector, it happens in all the sectors. So one of the main sector is health sector. Moreover, we are studying this topic under health economics. So we are only thinking about the health cost analysis. So it really helps to check the efficiency and effectiveness of how much the things are getting implemented. Next, to improve the policy relevant and utilize through assessment, planning and avoidance of wasteful expenditure in the hospital. So in a hospital, how much the policies really work, and how they have utilized. What about the assessment or planning, or the avoidance of wasteful expenditure, how whether we are wasting the resources in some unwanted area. So in order to know all these things, we should do a cost analysis. Then cost analysis, it allow the researcher to achieve cost minimization for the programs under consideration. So as we all know, there are various programs happening in a hospital or in the medical sector. So the main aim of us to minimize the cost. If the cost is minimized, then only the financial stability can be gained. Then only the workers, they will be able to get a good welfare. Then only we can, because see, every year we have to give increment to the nurses, doctors or whoever work there. But the same way, we cannot increase the medical bills. We cannot increase the cost of medicine. We cannot increase the cost of each procedures. So there is a limit for increasing those things, because the only consumer of a hospital, we can see, it is the patient only. There is no other person who come to a hospital other than a patient. So the only concentration is towards the patients. So we cannot screw out, or we cannot squeeze out all the resources what the patient is having. So there is a limit for us. But at the same way, the other side, the expenditure is getting higher. New technologies, new instruments, the cost of doctors, nurses, the hospital expenditure, waste management, the electricity bill, the water payment bills, everything is increasing. So some or the other way, the researchers has to find out how to minimize the cost. For that, cost analysis is very much needed. Then the cost analysis, it acts as a tool for planning and cost projection. So in order to plan for the higher levels in the coming years, how we can plan, how we can do a new project for a cost projection, how we can increase the income, all these things they will give us an idea if we do the cost analysis. Then to assess the efficiency, priorities, equity and accountability. So for all this, cost analysis is very much important. So when we tell about cost analysis, the main thing is healthcare economic evaluation. For this healthcare economic evaluations, we have four major types of cost analysis. So that they are cost minimization analysis, cost benefit analysis, cost effectiveness analysis and cost utility analysis. So let us see one by one. What do you mean by cost minimization analysis? Cost minimization analysis means it compares two healthcare interventions of equal efficiency and effectiveness to determine which intervention is less costly. ഒരേ രീതിയിലുള്ള രണ്ട് ഹെൽത്ത് കെയർ ഇൻ്റർവെൻഷനുകളെ നമ്മൾ കമ്പയർ ചെയ്യുകയാണ്. ബോത്ത് ഓഫ് ദം were having same efficiency and effectiveness. And we are looking into their interventions. And we are looking which one is less costly, which is consuming less economy, so that we can minimize the cost and the other one can be used. That is known as cost minimization analysis. Next is cost benefit analysis. So what is cost benefit analysis? It compares the cost expended in a healthcare intervention with the cost saved as a result of the healthcare intervention implementations into the healthcare delivery system. So here they compare how much cost is spent on a healthcare intervention with the cost saved as a result of the intervention. So like for example, we can tell that if you go for a treatment in the right time, maybe it will take some expenditure for that particular time. But if you are not going to the hospital at the right time, later you will be you were under into the problematic areas of that particular problem, and you will end up in many complications, and you may losing many of your job days and your income, your daily wages, everything will be affected. So it will be better that you have to go for a health intervention at the right time. So how much the cost? Same way here what they tell is the cost benefit analysis means for a healthcare intervention how much the cost has been expended. At the same way how much they have saved as a result of the healthcare intervention. Since they have done the intervention in the right time, how much the money has been saved. So thus we can see the cost benefit analysis. Next one is cost effectiveness analysis. It measures the healthcare outcome in terms of a life years gained. How much of years you have gained due to that particular treatment, or how many healthy years you have gained. How many months you were asthma free because you have taken the treatment at the right time. You have gone for the eye surgery at the right time, and good vision of years you have gained. And so on. All these types are for the cost expended on implementing on particular healthcare intervention. So by doing the correct healthcare intervention at the right time, how much effective your life has got, the lifetime you have gained, that is meant by cost effectiveness analysis. Last one is cost utility analysis. It measures the value confirmed by a healthcare intervention for healthcare resources expended in dollars. So how much amount you have spent in dollars, because as we all know, the international market or the international market of the medicine, they always calculate everything in dollars. So it measures the value confirmed by a healthcare intervention for healthcare resources expended in dollars. The value confirmed incorporate the improvement in both quality and quantity. Like for example, what is the quality of life? The quality adjusted life years. So these all things they really tally up, and they will see how much expenditure they have done in dollars. This is what cost utility analysis. So these four things really tells about the healthcare economic evaluation. So if there is a short notice coming, how you can do the evaluation of healthcare, then you can write about health economics. Through all these various cost analysis procedures, we do the evaluation of healthcare economics. Next, let us see what you mean by cost containment. So cost containment is a detailed plan and the process of maintaining organizational cost and purchases prices within certain specified target limit for a period of time. ഒരു കുറച്ച് നാളത്തേക്ക് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു പർട്ടിക്കുലർ ടൈം പീരീഡ് സമയത്തേക്ക് ഒരു ഓർഗനൈസേഷൻ്റെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു പർട്ടിക്കുലർ ഇൻഡസ്ട്രിയുടെ പർച്ചേസ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവരുടെ കോസ്റ്റ് അതിനെയെല്ലാം ഒരു പർട്ടിക്കുലർ ടാർഗറ്റ് ലിമിറ്റിൽ പിടിച്ചു നിർത്തുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ് കോസ്റ്റ് കണ്ടെയ്ൻമെൻറ്റ് എന്നുള്ളതുകൊണ്ട് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. സോ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് എ ഡീറ്റെയിൽഡ് പ്രോസസ് ഓർ എ പ്ലാൻ ടു മെയിൻറ്റെയിൻ ദ ഓർഗനൈസേഷണൽ കോസ്റ്റ് ഓർ ദ പർച്ചേസ് പ്രൈസസ് വിത്തിൻ എ സർട്ടൻ ലിമിറ്റ്, ടാർഗറ്റ് ലിമിറ്റ് ഫോർ എ പീരീഡ് ഓഫ് ടൈം. ഡേ ബൈ ഡേ ഇൻക്രീസ് ചെയ്യാതെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മന്ത്ലി റേറ്റ് ഇൻക്രീസ് ചെയ്യാതെ അറ്റ്ലീസ്റ്റ് ഫോർ 1 ഫിനാൻഷ്യൽ ഇയർ അല്ലേ, ഒരു പർട്ടിക്കുലർ വർഷത്തേക്ക് ഇതായിരിക്കും ഞങ്ങളുടെ കോസ്റ്റ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അതിൻ്റെ ഒരു ടാർഗറ്റ് ലിമിറ്റ് സെറ്റ് ചെയ്യുക. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് മെൻ ബൈ കോസ്റ്റ് കണ്ടെയ്ൻമെൻറ്റ്. So it is very important to make the cost containment. Why cost containment is essential? Because we have raising material cost, the increment of staff. As I have told, we have to give increment for the staff. So yearly we have to set it everything for a particular target time or a period of time. So usually they make it annual per year. So we have a raising cost of material, we have less availability of manpower, the quality, reduction of income, the government new rules and policies on capping the bills. They will not allow the private hospitals to have a very high billing systems. The poor reimbursement rates, they have to depend upon the third party or they have to depend upon other agencies for the billing system. Hospital, the only source, as I have told, is patients. So if it is some other shops, we know that all the particular age groups or all different type of people come into, they have multiple use. But in hospitals, it is needed by only patients, those who are having a disease. So these all things will lead to an essential need of a cost containment. So we have to keep the cost in a target limit for a particular period. The objectives required for accomplishing a cost containment. So for a cost containment, like we need experience, a proper experience. If you being in an health economical field for a long time and work along with the hospitals and along with that particular sector, then only we'll be able to know that how we can maintain the cost containment. In any field it is like that. Experience makes us to become masters. Then functional knowledge. We should know the functional knowledge where we can do the cost minimization. Strong project management, how we can manage the things, which type of project should be taken up, what should be purchased, what is the demand, what is the supply, where is the least cost of supply. But at the same time we have to see the quality of the supply also. Then correct business analysis skills. We have to analyze the business at least 3 months once or 6 months once. We have to do the analysis, cost analysis, where we have having any wastage of resources or money resources. Unnecessarily we are wasting something somewhere. All these things should be done at the correct time. The ability to effectively manage the change and make it stick. We have to stick on to the proper management. We have to undergo the changes, how effectively we can do the things. So these all are the main objectives or requirements which is needed for a cost containment. The high cost and high quality healthcare is very, very important. See, when we think about minimization of the cost, we can never compromise with the quality of healthcare. Because see, if you are thinking about the cost productions or something, don't think about only the medical sector. If you think about a production of pen, we can think that if a pen, if it is made up of a little more low quality plastic, or if we reduce the length of the pen, or if we reduce the quality of the cap of a pen, it doesn't affect much towards the quality of writing. But it is not the same way in the hospitals. We have to think about the quality of medication. We have to think about the quality product what we use in the surgeries, the proper disinfections. the salary of the staff, doctors, the surgical instruments, sterilization, all the machineries. Even you just think about a needle or a syringe. If it is one use, means it is only just one use. We cannot reuse it. So we cannot take a risk with the health of the population. So along with low cost, we have to think about the high quality of healthcare also. So for that, the willingness to take up the challenge, we need good leadership, we need professional management system, we need good input of cost, new technologies, the process and standardization of the profession, the continuous improvement system, and various range of services. These all things has to work together in a medical field. Then only we can maintain a low cost and a high quality healthcare. The four key areas where the providers need to focus to succeed is: the first one, be clear about the patient to be served and the business model. So always think that we are not doing only business for profit. We have to be very clear that the patients are to be served first. That should be our first aim. Have highly efficient process based on standardization and flow. We should have a highly efficient process. The working process or the health economics should be very efficient, and it should be based on standardization, and it should go in a flow. It should be a teamwork. It is not that it should not be in between. It should be continuous, and it should be flowing method. It should have its own standardization. Develop models for workforce, technology, and logistics that drive quality and lower cost. We have to always develop various types of business models for workforce. That means for the proper recruitment of the staff, good productive nurses, doctors, paramedical staffs, 4-class workers, because health is always a teamwork. Then new technologies, the logistics, everything should be having a proper quality, and at the same time we should think of the lower cost, and create systems to manage this and to drive continuous improvement. We should always create new systems to manage. We should always do changes. We have to adopt. That's what we have told, the willingness to take up the challenge. We have just seen that we have to we should be always willing to take up the challenges, because day by day the things are changing. നമുക്ക് പണ്ട് കാലത്തുണ്ടായിരുന്നതിനേക്കാൾ ഒരുപാട് ഹെൽത്ത് സെക്ടർ ആവശ്യമായി വരികയാണ്. എന്നാൽ അതിനോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ നമുക്ക് റിസോഴ്സസും വേണം. അതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ നമ്മളും ചിന്തിക്കണം നമ്മുടെ ആരോഗ്യത്തെക്കുറിച്ച്. നമ്മൾ ഏതൊക്കെ രീതിയിലുള്ള ലൈഫ് സ്റ്റൈൽ തിരഞ്ഞെടുക്കണം. ഹൗ ക്യാൻ വി മോഡിഫൈ അവർ ലൈഫ് സ്റ്റൈൽ? All these things we have to think, because we have so many challenges in front of us. New diseases, new technologies, new infectious agents. We have to think about new vaccination technologies. We have to think about the future generation health, our children, how they will come up, what all vaccinations they should get. So we have to create new systems to manage all these things, and we should have a continuous improvement also. Then only we'll be able to have a low cost and high quality health care. So the areas of improvement where we need for this is infrastructure, various operations, the financial operations, as well as the hospital operations, the management level operations I am telling about. The infrastructures, various financial operations, material management, how to utilize the material properly, how to manage the scarce resources. Maybe you will study more depth about the material management in your nursing administration subject also. Then the area of human resources, the wise use of human resources. Then finance or cost sharing. Then the marketing. Of course, the medicine, the pharmaceutical companies, they have to set the target, or they have to set the limit for the cost of drugs. Otherwise, the medicine, it really take up much amount in the medical healthcare sectors. So the pharmaceutical companies, then their marketings, everything should be taken care. So these all are the areas really they should need improvement: the infrastructure, financial operations, material management, human resources, finance or the cost sharing, then marketing. Next, let us see the last topic under this particular unit, that is family budgeting. Family budgeting is very, very important in order to maintain the economy of a family. So in this unit, we were telling about the health economics of an individual, of a family, of a community, and of a nation. We have seen from the basic level to a higher level. Now, in order to maintain the economy, the best method of an individual is the family budgeting. How they budget their family expenditures. The word is very familiar to you all. You students, you are going to, within a few years, you are going to be the managers in this family budgeting. Now you may be just a part of family budgeting along with your parents, but within few years you all will get married and you all will start about a new life and a new family. So during that time you have to have a good family budgeting. So for a better future and improved family life, budget is very, very necessary. In Western countries, they really make family budget as a very common factor. But in India, we can see very limited people, that is especially the educated people, they do the family budgeting. Others, they just think of the daily wages, daily expenditures. They never think of tomorrow or day after tomorrow's. They never worried about the future. The merits of family budgeting. Why we need a family budgeting? In order to prioritize the basic need of the family, to improve the living standards, control over unnecessary expenditure, to encouragement for savings. Family members get an idea of their economic limitations, useful for forming health policy of the family, enhancement of family health standards. There is no need for me to explain to you all what are the merits of a family budgeting. If we have a proper family budget, really we can focus upon a good living standard. We can control our expenditures. We can really think of savings. We can have savings. We can limit the economy. We can really get an idea how the family runs. We can form various health policy for our family. We can think about new health standards for our family. All this can be possible only through a proper family budgeting. The essential elements of a family budget are three things: income, expenses, and savings. If you are able to balance income, expenses, and saving, then we can tell that we are having a very good family budgeting. But if the expense is more and the savings is nil, then the income doesn't matter. How much you earn, it doesn't matter. The only thing matters is how much you save and how much you expense. So if you are able to limit your expenses and if you are able to focus upon your savings, then really if you are having a very small income, then also you can live very happily. The precautions for family budgeting is the family budget should always be balanced and saving budget. It should be balanced one. We should think of a saving budget. There should be possibility of miscellaneous expenditure in the budget. So whenever you plan for the family budget, always think that there may be some miscellaneous expenditures coming. അല്ലേ, നമ്മൾ തന്നെ അറിയാതെ ചില എക്സ്പെൻഡിച്ചർ നമ്മുടെ ഫാമിലിയിൽ വന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കും. ഇപ്പം നിങ്ങളുടെ പേരൻസൊക്കെ പറയുന്നത് നിങ്ങൾ കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടായിരിക്കും, രണ്ടുപേരും ഏൺ ചെയ്യുന്നവരാണ്, രണ്ടുപേർക്കും സാലറി കിട്ടുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ പോലും മന്ത് എൻഡ് ആകുമ്പോഴേക്കും എല്ലാ രീതിയിലുള്ള എക്സ്പെൻസസ് വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞ് തീരുമ്പോഴേക്കും ദ സേവിങ്സ് മേ ബി ദ വെരി ലെസ് ഫാക്ടർ, because we have a much number of miscellaneous expenditures also. Importance should be given to the views of all family members while making family budget. ഫാമിലി ബഡ്ജറ്റ് പ്ലാൻ ചെയ്യുമ്പം പേരൻസ് അവരുടെ കാര്യം മാത്രമല്ല ചിന്തിക്കുന്നത്, എല്ലാ ഫാമിലി മെമ്പേഴ്സിൻ്റെ വ്യൂവും അവർ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് എടുക്കുന്നുണ്ട് അതിൽ. കുട്ടികളുടെ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം, കൊച്ചുകുട്ടികളുടെ എൻ്റർടൈൻമെൻറ്റ്, അവരുടെ കളിപ്പാട്ടങ്ങൾ, അവരുടെ ബുക്സ്, അവരുടെ ക്ലോത്ത്സ്, യുവർ ഫുഡ്, all the other expenditures, they give demand to everybody. Budget should be evaluated for its merits and demerits. നമ്മൾ ഒരിക്കലും ഒരു ബഡ്ജറ്റ് ഇട്ടു, അത് നമ്മുടെ ഒരു ഫുൾ സ്റ്റോപ്പ് അല്ല. വി ഹാവ് ടു ഇവാലുവേറ്റ്, അല്ലേ, വാട്ട് ആർ ദ മെറിറ്റ്സ്. ഞാൻ ലാസ്റ്റ് മന്ത് ഇട്ട ബഡ്ജറ്റിൽ എന്തായിരുന്നു കുഴപ്പം, എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് എനിക്ക് ഒത്തിരി സേവിങ്സ് പറ്റാത്തത്. വി ഹാവ് ടു സീ അബൌട്ട് ബോത്ത് ദ മെറിറ്റ്സ് ആൻഡ് ഡിമെറിറ്റ്സ്. ഇൻ ബഡ്ജറ്റ് പ്രൊവിഷൻ ഷുഡ് ബി മെയ്ഡ് ഫോർ സിക്ക് പേഴ്സൺസ് ആൻഡ് ഹെൽത്ത്. നമ്മളെപ്പോൾ ഫാമിലി ബഡ്ജറ്റിംഗ് കീപ്പ് ചെയ്താലും അതിൽ മെഡിക്കൽ ബഡ്ജറ്റ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ബഡ്ജറ്റ് ഫോർ ദ ഹെൽത്ത് ഈസ് വെരി വെരി ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ്. അതിൻ്റെ അർത്ഥം നമ്മൾ ഹോസ്പിറ്റലിൽ എത്ര രൂപ സ്പെൻഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നു എന്നുള്ളത് മാത്രമല്ല, നമ്മൾ ആരോഗ്യവാന്മാരായിട്ടിരിക്കാൻ, ഇൻ ഓർഡർ ടു കീപ്പ് അപ്പ് ദ ഇമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റി ആൻഡ് ഹെൽത്ത്, വാട്ട് ഓൾ ആർ ദ ഗുഡ് ഹാബിറ്റ്സ് വി ഫോളോ, വാട്ട് ഓൾ ഗുഡ് ഫുഡ് So the good food, healthy food, what we expend for a healthy food, that is always very good for a good health. So the budget, we should always focus upon our health, our nutrition. And the same way, the sick people, those who are taking medication, we should take them the medication continuously. We should take them for the diagnostic evaluations. So sick people also should be considered in the budgeting, family budgeting. So let us see what are the steps of family budgeting. With this, we are going to finish family budgeting. So what are the various steps? There is no need for me to teach you a family budgeting, because you people are a part of a family. You all are adolescent, and moreover you are going to be adult. So you all seen how your father and mother, they do the family budgeting. What are the various steps? Or at least you should know better when you start a family how you can do the family budgeting. The first thing is determine your income. ഫസ്റ്റ് നമുക്ക് നമ്മുടെ ഇൻകം എന്തോരം ഉണ്ട് എന്ന് ഡിറ്റർമൈൻ ചെയ്യണം. സോ ലെറ്റ് us ഫൈൻഡ് ഔട്ട് വാട്ട് ആർ ദ സോഴ്സസ് ഓഫ് ഇൻകം. ഹസ്ബൻഡ് ഏൺ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടോ, വൈഫ് ഏൺ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടോ, നമ്മുടെ പറമ്പിൽ നിന്ന് എന്തെങ്കിലും ആദായം ഉണ്ടോ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വീട്ടിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും സ്മോൾ സ്കെയിൽ ഇൻഡസ്ട്രി ഉണ്ടോ. സോ എനി ഓഫ് ദിസ് തിങ്സ്, വാട്ട് ഈസ് യുവർ ഇൻകം. ദെൻ ഡിറ്റർമൈൻ യുവർ എക്സ്പെൻസസ്. Monthly, how much things, what is the water bill, electricity bill. There are some permanent expenditures in your family. We have to determine that. Water, food, electricity. So these things we have to think of. Not only this, these are the basic things I am telling. Even though there are many expenditures, the petrol for your car, the cleaning expenditures, the food, entertainment, cable bill, TV, mobile recharges. There are so many expenditures. Can you just take out a paper and write about the expenditures? In a column, you just write the income of the family. The next side, you just write about the monthly expenditure, the common expenditures every month your family faces. You will wonder how your parents are managing. In between, you will be having some demands. So these all things we have to think when you are having a family budgeting. Then review your financial situation. Then you have to review, or you have to see what is my situation. ഞാൻ എന്തെങ്കിലും കടക്കണിയിലാണോ, ആർക്കെങ്കിലും കടം കൊടുക്കാനുണ്ടോ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ലോൺ എന്തെങ്കിലും അടച്ചു തീർക്കാനുണ്ടോ, എന്തെങ്കിലും ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് കൊടുക്കാനുണ്ടോ, എന്തെങ്കിലും ബാങ്കിൽ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് എന്തെങ്കിലും അടയ്ക്കാനുണ്ടോ, എന്തെങ്കിലും മന്ത്ലി റെൻറ്റ് എനിക്ക് കൊടുക്കാനുണ്ടോ. സോ ഓൾ ദിസ് ഫിനാൻഷ്യൽ സിറ്റുവേഷൻ യു ഹാവ് ടു റിവ്യൂ. ദെൻ റിവ്യൂ യുവർ എക്സ്പെൻസസ്, your home expenses, your the utilities, food, health and medicine, transportation, entertainment, clothing, investment, saving, discriminatory expenditures. What is discretionary expenditures? Discretionary expenditure means the purchases which you can control. That means there are some things unnecessarily we are spending. Like for example, beauty parlor, going outside and having a dinner in a good hotel, having party with your friends. So some of these things you can control. If your monthly income is less, if that month your expenses is getting higher, then you can control this type of discretionary spendings. Then know what you spent. Always when you spend, you should know how much you are spending. Then you should set the goals. Always you should have a goal. Either it can be a monthly goal or an annual goal. By this year end, I should get a new car. By this month end, I should get saved around 10,000 rupees. And I should start having my provident fund. I should save, I should have some saving. I should get some money fixed deposit. So such type of goals you should have. Build your budget, ways to save the money and saving process. You should always build your own budget. You should see the way how you can save the money, and check it often and make changes if necessary, and what you can cut off. Always keep on changes so that you can do improvements. ഒരു മാസം നിങ്ങൾക്ക് സേവ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റിയില്ല, അത് എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണെന്ന് കണ്ടുപിടിക്കുക. മേ ബി ചില അൺവാണ്ടഡ് സം തിങ്സ് യു കനോട്ട് ഈവൻ ചേഞ്ച്. മേ ബി സം അൺവാണ്ടഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ നിങ്ങളുടെ ലൈഫിൽ വന്നിട്ടുണ്ടാവാം. ചിലപ്പം നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അവോയ്ഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റാത്ത അൺഅവോയ്ഡബിൾ സിറ്റുവേഷൻസ് വന്നിട്ടുണ്ടാവാം. സോ ഫൈൻഡ് ഔട്ട് വാട്ട് ഈസ് അൺവാണ്ടഡ്, ഫൈൻഡ് ഔട്ട് വാട്ട് ഈസ് അൺഅവോയ്ഡബിൾ, ദെൻ മേക്ക് എ ബാലൻസ്. So if you make a balance, such type of changes you should be always willing to make in family budget. It is not always അത് ഒരിക്കൽ സെറ്റ് ചെയ്താൽ ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല, അങ്ങനെയൊന്നുമില്ല. Family budget you should always check often, and you should undergo changes so that you can make changes. Necessary changes can be made in order to cut off the cut off the expenditures, so that you can have a strong saving income, so that you can have a good family budgeting. So these are some of the tips or some of the steps for a proper family budgeting. So with this particular unit, health economics, is completed. So in health economics overall, we have studied about what is the need of a health economy, what is the role of a nurse in health economics, what is macroeconomic and microeconomy, and what are the cost analysis steps, how we analyze the cost in a hospital, and what is the need of a family budgeting, or what are the steps of a family budgeting, how we can do a cost containment, what is a cost containment, the types of cost analysis, and the various sources of healthcare financing, the third party insurance, third party payments, direct consumers, and the private support. And we have seen about the need of health economics, why it is highly needed in this particular era. All these things we have seen. So I hope you have understood about this particular unit. So whatever printout you have taken, read it once so that you will be able to understand. It was a small unit of just 2 hours. So by this, the unit health economics is completing. From tomorrow onwards, we will be moving into the next unit. Thank you all.